Hello everyone. I feel like I'm in a Van Gogh painting right now with the river and the blue and the yellow, and it's so beautiful out this evening. I say this evening, but it's actually 5:15. It just gets dark crazy early right now. But I am in Paris, obviously, and I'm about to head somewhere that's been very much talked about lately, and I've been very excited to go and check out. It is the new renovated Notre Dame. Notre Dame just opened a few days ago after all the renovations from the fire, and I've heard that it is absolutely gorgeous inside. I'm very excited to go and see how all the work has gone. Obviously, everyone who lives here has been following it from the outside for years now, watching the scaffolding go up and down, watching things progress. But this will be the first time that I have seen any of the new renovations or the new inside of the cathedral, and I am so excited. And also, it's going to be the first time that I have been in Notre Dame at night. Normally, when I think about doing stuff like this, it's always in the summer when it's light out until quite late. But we're almost at the shortest day of the year right now, so that means it is 5:15 and it's getting dark. However, if you do specifically want to go and see Notre Dame at night, which I'm quite excited for, I think it's going to be a very interesting experience. Notre Dame is open until 10 o'clock on Thursdays, and generally when things are open until a later time on one specific day, that's when they're the least crowded. So I think that that is probably the easiest time to see Notre Dame. Unfortunately, tomorrow is a Thursday, but I will have a rehearsal at that time, so I can't go on a Thursday, but you guys should check it out if you feel so inclined. But for now, it is Wednesday, and I'm going to go and check out the new Notre Dame 2.0, freshly renovated. Even though I've lived in Paris for years and years, whenever I'm in the heart of the city like this, I like to get off the metro 1 or 2 stops early and walk to wherever I'm going. It's a great way to just enjoy being in this gorgeous city. I'm passing the Hotel de Ville on my way to Notre Dame today. And to be honest, this area, you just can't go wrong with a walk because Notre Dame is in the 4th arrondissement, and it is on the Ile de la Cité, which was the original neighborhood of Paris. That was the original oldest part of the city. Also, of course, it's right next to the river, so any direction you are coming from, if you get off the metro 1 or 2 stops early and take a 10-minute walk into Notre Dame, it is well worth it. Wow. I mean, already I can see this is going to be an incredible time of day to be here. This is all the line to go in. It goes all the way back to the edge of the square and then circles around. I hope I'm going to get in before it closes in an hour and a half. We'll see. I've heard someone say that this is a 20-minute wait. I'm not sure if I believe that. That seems false. Well, at least I've got a really great view from the line. You can see the Eiffel Towers just there. And then over here on this side is actually something that you definitely should try to visit if you find yourself in this area. If you see that spire that's right there, that is the Sainte-Chapelle. It was built by St Louie, the King of France, a Middle Ages King of France, who brought back a piece of the crown of thorns, Jesus' crown of thorns. Theoretically, it was a real piece, to France, and then built this incredible, glorious stained glass church to put it in, and it's just right there. So if you are in this area, I strongly recommend visiting the Sainte-Chapelle. The line is actually going a lot faster than expected. I'm about halfway through, and it's only been, I think it's been a little more than 5 minutes. So this is actually great. This is very, very much quicker than I expected. And it's so cool to be here and to see Notre Dame without the scaffolding. To be honest, I'm not in this area very much. In fact, kind of the only time I end up in this area is when I go just down that street to renew my visa paperwork every few years. So it's really nice to be here and to see it as it used to be, as I remember it from before the fire, and to see Notre Dame looking just like a normal building and not a construction zone. Another one of my favorite things to do if you're in this area, which I haven't done in years and I need to do again, is that you can take a tour up to the top of the towers or in fact, actually, it's more like that landing that goes between the towers right here, and walk along there and see the bells up close and personal, see the insides of the towers. It's really, really great, and I love doing that. So I definitely have to do that pretty soon now that Notre Dame is open again. All right, I'm going in, and the line actually went so fast that I stopped to film the front for a second, and they were like, go, 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 and I was like, oh, this is much faster. That was like less than 10 minutes total in the line. Incredible. The first thing that struck me walking into the new interior of Notre Dame was how bright everything looked. Even at night, you could see that all of the stone just looked so white and new. The only other time I've been in a cathedral with this kind of look to it was when I go into the cathedral in Chartres, where my boyfriend Laurent lives, and they've done a massive cleaning project in Chartres in the last few years, cleaning up all the stone. And so it also has this very white, clean look. Of course, this is not 100% historically accurate, as when these medieval cathedrals were built, they were not just plain white stone. Cathedrals, much like chateaus in their original state, would have been brightly painted and decorated because medieval people loved color. So even though now we picture our cathedrals as these big white or gray monuments, in their original state, they would have been extremely colorful. You can see a lot of this in the Basilica of St Julien, which is the basilica that is close to Everdeen. It has a lot of original paintings still left over. Now, those of you who follow this channel will not be surprised that one of the first things I looked at were the chandeliers because of my borderline unhealthy chandelier obsession. But you might be surprised to learn, as I was, that these are the original chandeliers from Notre Dame. They survived the 2019 fire and then were sent to Provence to be restored by Mathieu Lustrerie. There are 13 chandeliers, and their restoration required each one to have specialists in crystal, bronze, metal gilding, varnishing, and polishing. This is the same team that restored the Hall of Mirrors in Versailles, so they definitely know what they are doing. Another thing that I found very striking was the choices of the artworks that decorate the chapels that run around the sides of the cathedral and behind the altar. In almost every chapel, there was one more traditional classical piece of art and one more modern or abstract piece of art, and I thought that was a beautiful choice. There was really something that everyone would appreciate. And I thought the contrast really brought out the beauty of both styles. Most of the classical pieces are more biblical stories or specific people from the Bible, while most of the modern pieces are more abstract and depict a spiritual idea or feeling. And speaking of artwork, the lighting design of the way that the interior of this cathedral is lit at night is an absolute masterpiece in itself. Like I said, this is the first time that I have been here at night, and it just brings out an entirely different side of the cathedral. The recessed lighting that lights most of the interior is unbelievably beautiful, and then also the slightly softer, darker light really brings out the candles. It makes everything feel slightly more medieval and historic, like you're seeing how it would have looked in candlelight. Of course, that would have been much darker when this cathedral was originally built, but you get the sense of it. You get that slightly shadowy, mysterious, flickering light feeling, and that is something that being here in the day just does not prepare you for. This is its own experience, and it is so different than what it is like if you visit here in the day. Of course, that is a great experience as well, but this is totally different, and it's something I'm so excited to be experiencing for the first time. Okay, the history nerd in me is forcing me to point out that King Louis XII, you'll see right here on this plaque, was the king when Notre Dame was built, and he is extremely interesting himself, but one of the most interesting things about him is that he was married to Eleanor of Aquitaine. If you're saying, what? I thought she was married to Henry II of England, then you're as big a history nerd as me, but definitely you should look up that story because it's super fascinating. She maybe had an affair with her uncle while she was away on the Crusades. Don't miss out! I'm rounding the corner and going behind the altar area, and it is the season, so Notre Dame has its incredibly elaborate nativity scene out. I think I did see this once before many years ago, but I was not prepared. There is so much happening in this nativity scene. I mean, it's obviously the Holy Family and the wise men and the shepherds and other characters from the traditional story, but there's also an entire village of supporting characters that are living their best lives. I could not stop looking at this. I stopped for probably 20 minutes and just tried to follow each storyline. And you cannot absorb this in one visit. There is just so much happening. Each figure is its own little work of art. Each one has a different outfit on. It's truly amazing. I'm very glad I came at this season because it was an experience in and of itself. If you can pry your eyes away from the nativity scene, just above it there is, I won't say one of the hidden gems of Notre Dame, but I think one of the most under-celebrated parts of the cathedral, which amazingly survived the fire and is intact today. This is the 14th century carved choir screen. The screen was started in the early 14th century and took over 35 years and 3 architects to complete. It shows various biblical scenes from the life of Jesus. Here's doubting Thomas putting his hand in Jesus's wounds, while some of his clearly weirded out friends look on from 2 small towers. I think someone had some fun while they were carving this. And now we'll reach the callback portion of this video, because as you walk around the U-bend of the back part of the cathedral behind the choir, there is the Chapelle St Louie, the Chapel of St Louis, also known as King Louis of France, who built the Sainte-Chapelle that I told you about earlier. Callback. This section of the cathedral houses some of the most beautiful chapels. They are colorful, they are filled with artwork, and I think even though the artwork is more modern, it's not the original murals on the walls, it does give you a sense of what it must have been like when cathedrals were painted all over with the beautiful colors and the vibrant feeling on all of the walls. It really does take you back in time in a little miniature kind of way. Walking through the back area here is also the best way to get an up-close look at the choir and the altar area. I'm taking some time to peep through and look through the golden grills into the altar area with its gorgeous, gorgeous marble floor, the candelabras, which were also restored by Mathieu Lustrier, and see up close the statues and the altar that are up here in the main area of the church. And finally, before I go, I found my little scavenger hunt that I do in every church in France, which is to find the statue of Saint Jean d'Arc, Joan of Arc,
which is in almost every church. It's really amazing how prolific these statues of Saint Jean d'Arc are, but it's really fun to seek them out and find the different versions that are in each church.
That was absolutely incredible. Wait, let me get somewhere a little quieter and I'll tell you guys all about the vibe. All right, a little quieter here, I think. But I've been to Notre Dame many times before, and this was definitely by far my favorite time that I have been. It is so amazing at night. I can't get over it. Like, just the atmosphere and the lighting and it just feels like such a, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's just a spiritual experience to be there at night. I had no idea, but I'm so glad I did this, because I thought about waiting to film this video until I could come in the day, because like, oh, it's going to be hard to film at night. It's not going to look as nice. You won't see the stained glass. I'm so glad I did this. It's been amazing. And seeing it for the first time. Oh, there goes the bells. Seeing it for the first time since the fire. So it's the first time I've been inside in years and years. And just being back for the first time at night with the lighting and the ambiance and the music. And when I walked in, they were having the evening vespers. So I sat down and enjoyed the music for 30 minutes or so and listened and stayed for the whole vesper service. And it's just been incredible. Like, what a great surprise evening. I thought I was just going to show up and wait in the line for a long time and then film, a little bit and then leave. And this has just been an experience. So that's something I love about Paris, is that there's just so many things that turn into truly magical experiences without knowing that they're going to. Anyway, I'll quit ranting about it now, but definitely try to come at night if you're in Paris. It's amazing. Anyway, I just want to say before I go, a big thank you to our patrons for this channel. You guys are the best. Big hugs to patrons. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for being a great support system. And thank you for everyone who is subscribed. If you're not subscribed, please do take a moment to subscribe and to like this video. And I've got nothing else. I feel like I just need to reflect on this experience for a while. It's been crazy. It's been amazing. So I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go home and do some chilling, some reflecting, maybe some wine drinking, and I will see you guys next time.